Joe's angle says take Akron and Kent under the total.
It is time to bring Kelly Stewart into the conversation. You can follow her on Twitter at Kelly in Vegas. What's going on, kiddo? How are you?
You know, life's pretty good. Just got back from the Westgate, wrapping up a last little minute interview with the guys from Showtime, and I'm really excited because I got to see some of the clips from the show. Dave Cokin is going to be a superstar. I did not see Teddy's clip, but I'm assuming the email last night that I sent him means that he's going to be in the show as well. So lots of fun stuff going on with the Wager Talk family in that show.
Good stuff. I want to talk some Big 12 because this is got an exciting race coming down to the wire between Texas Tech and Kansas State. Obviously, you are the Kansas State alum, and you've got great contacts back there. It's where you're from. So with some teams, I don't know whether a regular season conference title means a whole lot. I kind of get the impression, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that it is important for Kansas State.
You know, I do think it is important for Kansas State because the last time they, quote-unquote, won the Big 12, they were co-champions with KU. And while they were, I believe, excited at that moment in time, one of the former basketball players tweeted the other night, this time there's not going to be a co. And I think that is something these guys are really pushing for. Obviously, KU did no service to itself by their atrocious road play this year. K-State and KU split the 1-1 there as far as beating each other at home. But, man, this is going to be interesting. This Kansas State team has really surprised me. I thought last year was a little fluky, granted, because they got to play UMBC instead of Virginia. First and foremost, they got really lucky in that aspect. But here's a Texas Tech team that, definitely the best defense in college basketball, depending on how you rate them, but according to Ken Palm, they have a great offense. And K-State has proved that, they can hang with this team. They lost the one back on January 5th with no Dean Wade, no Stokes on the road. But this is a really good Kansas State team. And I think they're going to get past Oklahoma. Oklahoma, obviously, doesn't have a ton to play for in that game. They kind of won their Super Bowl, so to speak, after beating KU the other night. And Texas Tech has to get past Iowa State. And, God, I don't know what to say has happened to Iowa State. I was touting this team back in early February, and I'm going, what the hell happened?
It's a complete mystery, Teddy. I don't understand. I obviously got it wrong, but I was looking at Iowa State in January and saying on this show, boy, there's a team that can make a deep run in the NCAA tournament. They don't even look like they belong in the tournurnament now.
No, but of course they'll get in, which gives us more chances to bet against them.
What happened, though? Has anybody been – obviously the coach doesn't know either because he corrected but they have just completely gone the other way.
It's really been both ends of the floor.
Yes.
Because they were a better defensive team than I expected early on. That hasn't been the case since their offense has gone south. And I think maybe it might have been a spot where when they stopped making shots, they stopped playing defense. But it's been a rough run for the Cyclones. But I have to ask you, Kelly, you said that K-State's not going to have a co. Unless Texas Tech loses, K-State's still going to have a co with the championship. But at least it's not co with Kansas.
Well, and that's what I'm getting to. I actually think Iowa State is going to probably beat this Texas team. And whether everybody thinks everybody thinks I'm crazy, but Texas Tech has been really playing above their level for the last couple of weeks. And, again, this Iowa State team can't quite seem to figure them out here. But coming off that terrible loss at West Virginia, they lost by 15 points to one of the worst teams in the Big 12. I don't know, man. I really feel like Iowa State's going to give Texas Tech their best game and wouldn't be surprised to see Iowa State win that one. And K-State, gets past Oklahoma. They're going to be a decent-sized favorite. I'm not betting them in that situation by any means. I don't like laying points with that team. But, man, I'm going, hey, I don't know if Texas Tech can get out of that one alive.
Which team do you see out of the Big 12 making the deepest run in the NCAA tournament?
That is up for debate as well. I think Texas Tech is, depending on what seed they end up getting, I think Texas Tech is going to be a team to look for. That we always love good defensive teams. Mm-hmm. K-State's going to be rather interesting because since I throw out that loss to Kansas, I kind of feel like we knew that was going to happen after how well they played against Oklahoma State. Kind of how when they beat Texas Tech and then went on the road to A&M, I was like, this just seems fishy. And sure enough, they played terrible in the second half of that game. And that's kind of how I feel like we've seen K-State be this year. Going back to the Iowa State game where they lost in Bramlage, that was another one of those games where Iowa State was like, no, you guys came into Hilton, and now they're going to step up, and they got the win. So it's a really interesting Kansas State team. I do think they have a great defense, but maybe it's just the fan in me. I don't want to get too hyped up, but everybody's fairly healthy right now and playing good basketball, and hopefully they can make their way through the Big 12 tournament, and they're not looking ahead to March. Well, I'll keep an eye on this team, but Oklahoma is going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on. They've been playing better basketball as of lately. Granted, they also had that ugly loss at Iowa State, but before that, nice win over TCU, nice win over Texas. As I told you guys, they were underdogs in both of those games, and I said, hey, this doesn't make sense to me here, why I'm catching points with this Oklahoma team. I do like Lon Kruger, and I do think what he's done in Oklahoma this season has been lackluster compared to what we've seen when he's had a more talented team. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Oklahoma do something here over the next couple of weeks. And besides that, I really think that the Big 12, while it appears that everybody can beat everybody there, I don't know how I feel about it. You know, Baylor's an interesting one too with Scott Drew, but hey, I took Oklahoma State in the money line the other night, so don't really know what to make of that team as well.
Are you dismissing, and a lot of people are at this point, so this wouldn't be like a revelation.
Texas.
But, no, are you dismissing Kansas? Or can Bill Self put this, what is now a very young team, get it together at the right time and make a run?
God, and that's the thing is I don't know what we're going to see from Kansas outside of Allen Fieldhouse. Listen, I have told people for years, and they don't want to believe it, I'm like, Allen Fieldhouse is a completely different animal. You've got to give additional points. I'm not talking about how loud it is. I'm talking about how the Big 12 refs swallow whistles there. And it is just something that people have finally started to see now that we're seeing more of these Big 12 games on TV, because the Big 12 is starting to be one of those more up-and-coming conferences in terms of basketball than before, where it was just KU. And it's interesting because now we're asking this team they're going to beat up on Baylor real bad tomorrow, I have a feeling. Take out that aggression from that Oklahoma loss. Granted, Kansas City, where they play the Big 12 tournament, is kind of like Allen Fieldhouse 2.0.
Yeah.
So I do think we're going to see them play well in Kansas City. But, man, I just don't think I can get behind this Kansas team going on the actual road somewhere where they're not at home. As you mentioned, this is a very young team. They've got, a couple of really bad key injuries there at the beginning of the year, and they just haven't overcome them outside of Allen Fieldhouse. But
with the crowd support that they're going to get, do you think the Jayhawks might well be the team to beat in the Big 12 tourney itself?
I could see that. I can make a case for them. I can make a case for Kansas State, and even Texas Tech, obviously. But, it's always interesting. They're going to draw a crowd. Manhattan's also close. And you'd be surprised how well people travel. I wouldn't be surprised to see a ton of Iowa State fans there as well. Lubbock fans, Texas Tech fans, maybe not. We haven't seen a ton of them travel this season as far as the Texas Tech away games go. But, yeah, you have to give KU the biggest leg up there in that situation. But, yeah, I could absolutely see them winning the Big 12 tournament. That is not something that's ever out of the realm of possibility for Bill Self. And as much as it pains me to say it, he's one of the best coaches in college basketball.
He is. So, look, he wins big games. You just can't argue against that. You are one of the busiest people around. Showtime special is coming up. CBS Sports, Wager Talk. Talk about whatever you want here. Let us know where we can see you.
Yeah, really excited. The new docu-series, I have to keep changing myself because it's a documentary but in 4 parts, called Action, is going to be out. You guys are both featured in it, a couple other guys from Wager Talk, so really exciting. March 24th, it airs on Showtime. I'm hoping they give me a couple little more sneak peek clips so I can post them on social media. But that's going to be really exciting. Lots of fun stuff going on at Wager Talk. If you guys haven't went over and seen Dave's horse racing video on our YouTube channel, you've got to go over there. That was one of the best stories I've ever heard. I've gotten so much great feedback about that. And, hey, if anybody out there has another kind of story, they want to learn how to do certain things, they have a question, Teddy and I do all these betting videos. We do a lot of 101s because of, obviously, the new people to the market, the novice bettors. But, hey, you have a more advanced question, feel free to tweet one of us, and we'll do a video about it.
By the way, we're going to do a video probably not next week, but the week after. And I will tell you my night with Bo Derek story.
Oh, I can't wait.
That's a true story.
This is what I want a video of. The Showtime viewing party, man. That's what I want. What's that, the 24th of March?
Yes, we gotta figure something out as far as a group of where we're going to go, and we can all sit back and have a nice little laugh.
Well, you owe me dinner at Joe's anyway, so what the hell?
I do. I do owe you dinner at Joe's. This is true. But, hey, Dave, if I take you to dinner at Joe's, God knows the rumors are going to be flying around there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah, I get that. All right. I'll talk to you later. Have a good weekend.
Bye, guys.
Follow Kelly Stewart on Twitter at Kelly in Vegas. And stay tuned for that Showtime special that'll be coming up later this month. We're going to skip the Phillies preview. We'll do it on Monday. That's the beauty of this. You know, we don't have to stick to any format. We got games to talk about. We got wait to talk marquee matchup to talk about next.
The Las Vegas Sportsline.
And with John Lyons from Lyons Physical Therapy, and it's not just you at LPT. You've got a staff of really experienced, qualified people.
Yeah, Dave, we have 3 other physical therapists on staff with combined over 50 years experience with those other 3 physical therapists. Our therapists specialize in different treatments. We do some trigger point dry needling. We do a lot of manual therapy involving massage, joint mobilizations. We also have physical therapy assistants and massage therapists that help treat our patients' injuries.
LionsPTLV.com, 702-476-0222.
What's hot today? It's time for the Wager Talk Marquee Matchup of the Night. WagerTalk.com. Start winning now.
Nuggets and Warriors tonight. This will be fun because it is the 1 and 2 seeds in the Western Conference. This could be one of those games that Golden State is really interested in because it is one of their primary challengers. It's obviously a game Denver's going to be interested in because they'd love to catch the Warriors and be the number 1 seed. And here comes that number again, Teddy. I mean, this Warriors team just doesn't cover spreads. Makes it really difficult to back them, even though the public keeps doing it.
Yeah, I mean, they've covered 1 point spread since the All-Star break.
It's amazing.
One. They are dead last in the NBA ATS. If you bet against them every game, or you bet on them every game at home this year, they've covered less than 35% of the time. At one point, they were good double-digit favorites.
Yes, earlier.
Yeah. If you look at them in single-digit favorites, I mean, I'm just eyeballing it. They're, less than 30%, maybe. I mean, they've been.
And part of it is, here's the
it's all about the price. They're just being asked to lay too much.
Yeah, and yet it seems like the market is still willing to do it. It's like they keep expecting it to turn around. I mean, to me, you either look at the Nuggets or leave the game alone. I'm not advocating betting Denver here, but you just basically can't bet Golden State unless you're looking for a needle in a haystack, which is about as often as they cover these days.
Well, here's the beauty of it, okay? Because now you're like the Warriors off a loss, and that's a loss, a bad loss, an embarrassing loss, blown off the floor, not prepared to play from the get-go. Steve Kerr talking after the game, our fans don't deserve that type. We owe them more than that. So it's, in theory, supposed to be your circle the wagons time for Golden. Warriors off a loss this year. They're 14-6 straight up.
Okay, acceptable by their standards.
They're 6-14 against the spread. It doesn't matter. They can win tonight. It's going to be a hard-fought game. Denver just lost 3 in a row, and they just got their get-right game against the Lakers, and they're fine now. I don't think there's any issues with the Nuggets. They're every bit as deep as the Warriors, if not deeper. I'm with you. It's really hard for me to lay a price with Golden State at this stage of the campaign.
WagerTalk.com, NHL, NBA, college basketball, soccer, UFC.
Yeah, MMA.
Yeah, whatever's going on, you can find a handicapper who's excelling at one or more of those sports. Some great packages are available right now. Teddy, what have you got on there tonight?
Yeah, tonight I got a single best bet in the NBA and one in college tournament action as well. It's been a pretty good start to the month of March, so we'll see if we can keep it rolling.
All right, and with that, we will head to our Lions Physical Therapy Play of the Day.
It's the LPT Play of the Day. Tonight's best bet from Lions Physical Therapy. Your 5-star rated specialists.
So we know going in that for many teams,